Okay, it is 7:04. Time to call this meeting of the Parks and Rec Committee to order. We are here to discuss Crabtree and Hawking College and the use of the fields down there. So basically, we were called this meeting to see if there was any public comment, if there was any concern. We have Mr. Hootie Wind here also, so that if he has any questions, they can be addressed, so everybody's on the same game plan. We want this to be an open, there is no top secret agenda, it is what it is, and we want to hear any comments that anyone has. So I'll start off with talking to Mr. Wend. I believe the Crabtree is basically old timers.
Yep.
And the trophy presentations.
Yep.
Is there anything else that you can think of throughout I can't remember anything else other than those two main things that the field was used for.
We used to have pony leg there before we had junior high.
Right. And I practiced there when I was coaching there, but I think since then they've moved over to the high school. I think primarily they're sharing the field over there. So, I don't foresee an issue with them using it. Mr. Taylor, glad you can make it. So that's a pretty cut and dry thing there. It just we just want to be abreast of any improvements that are made there. Don't want to destroy any historical things whatsoever. Do you have any concerns, Ms. Jones, that you'd like to?
Nothing other than what I've already discussed.
Right.
Or shared an email with Mr. Frank, which is, that especially around Crabtree, that we're respectful of the historic nature of the field, that the stones that are there for seating were actually stones that came out of the canal locks. We don't want them painted or anything, like they can be cleaned up, but certainly not like have anything else done to them. Also, concern about making sure that the engraved bricks at the top of the stairway that comes off of Canal Street, which is dedicated to the Old Timers Association members, that those not be disturbed, and that there be no renaming of the field. That I understand that they want to put up a new, maybe digital built or scoreboard or whatever, but that it still remains Crabtree Field.
Right.
Always, without any other naming or any of that. So.
All right, Mr. Booth.
Share the same questions, and I think those have been addressed. Have we figured parking out yet?
No. The options are here at City Hall, walk across, or currently the land bank has the old coffee cup property.
Mm-hmm.
So far, there's no issues. That's why the dumpsters are there, using that spot for now. If we as a city want to move forward in purchasing that, we need to make that decision sooner than later. And we can submit the paperwork to become an end user on that one and take over that property. Currently, there's one other end user in the queue for that one, and it's one of the local landlords in town. So that's up to you guys if you want us to do that for that one or not. The other suggestion, I just think it's completely out of our price range, was purchasing the church across the street and putting in a parking lot. There's nowhere in the budget. I wouldn't feel comfortable asking for that money.
I have no problems whatsoever with the property from the old coffee cup whatsoever. I mean, three-quarter of it's already paved. I think that's the logical thing. That would solve an issue that has been perpetual at Crabtree Field for years, lack of parking. Because, the people were parking in that field across the road, and that's not city property, that's not Crabtree property, that's personal property. So I think that's a great idea to pursue that property. I would want to get a price on it, bring it to the finance committee and make sure that all the monies are there and that we can purchase it. And
Just build some steps down.
I would be absolutely fine with that. So,
Well, with where they dug out, the guys, I don't know if anybody's driven down in there, the guys did a phenomenal job.
it looks amazing.
And we can go further, especially if we acquire that piece of property, we can go further back in there and it would be,
Much
Oh.
easier.
it would, and it'd have a lot more purpose too, especially if we cleared all that along the
It's a big
riverbank.
lot.
They would be able to walk down right there, cause, I know it was brought up that walking across the levee, cause it's super narrow and dangerous with the roots and everything else is not the
Right.
best option.
Right.
So that would be our other option, is to clear that out and then you could walk from the parking lot down and then into the park.
I like that.
Could we put like an asphalt path there, or?
We can do
Because
anything
it's-
you wanna pay for,
Well-
Mr. Sherman.
Well, I'm just saying, because that, thanks for using my name, by the way.
Like
I'm
nobody knows
just
your
thinking
voice.
that, if we're gonna get that Bobcat attachment with the asphalt, a nice walking path through there would be nice. Maybe we can get a grant for a path or something.
Certainly can pursue that if you'd like.
So I think that would be nice, cause you could also use that as like a walk or something like that. Maybe bring it up to the road, go back around the edge of the thing.
I know there was actually an idea thrown out there once of extending the bike path, so,
And that's what I was gonna
maybe
mention,
talking
maybe,
to the,
or make it just a path of its own, maybe self-contained, go around the outfield fence or something, where people
Yeah.
go and walk.
I'd love to see it as a rec park. One of the things I saw in England, they make several pieces of equipment that you can put out, to work out with, just
Really
different types
nice
of bar, using your body weight.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't be a problem in the flood area down there because, as long as it meets the flood criteria for park equipment, you're allowed to do that.
My only concern there, like when you come from that coffee cup property down Canal Street, it just doesn't seem like there's a lot of room there along the roadway to put in a paved.
So you-
It's wider than what it looks because the brush is pretty much taking it over.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're not talking about
On the
going
outside,
road,
talking about on the
On
inside.
the inside.
On the
Oh,
inside.
on the
Yeah,
inside.
Yeah, that's
By the
connected right
riverbank.
there. Elizabeth. It's
Okay.
all grown up, and if it was
Okay.
cleaned out, you could walk right through there.
Yeah, drop
Okay.
down levee, have your steps there and a path walking into the park.
Okay.
That sounds like, yeah, along the road is no.
Yeah, I was like, I don't think there's enough room. Okay. All right.
Okay, so,
Dan, his backhoe could cut it for.
okay, so, Mr. Frank, if you would look into that, that would be great, so that we could, find out what we have to do to acquire that and how much they would want. And that would, solve a lot of the problems with, parking with, Crabtree Field, so.
Scott, when do they, I'm sorry, Tony,
Go ahead.
when do they want to, I understand that we're working on executing this agreement as soon as possible, but when are they, like, anticipating practices starting, games starting?
She didn't specify that. What she told me was, the quick, if we come to an agreement on this and she's able to get it on to their books for next year.
Okay.
Is what I understood. Now, I'll have to come back to you with something different, but I don't believe there's any intention of playing this spring.
Oh, okay, yeah, it's too late. Okay, well, you cannot domineer the meetings.
Trying to dominate the meeting, sir. Point of order, Mr. President, I think that, so the American Legion's flags were on that resolution as well, and I just wanted to make sure that, because I did speak with them today, and they're very excited about, putting these flags on our poles, and just wanted to make sure that nobody had a problem with that, and that we, got that passed on Monday night, because they're wanting to move on this pretty quick.
Yeah, I don't foresee a problem with it. I think it's a great thing to honor the veterans, to put them on the flagpoles. I do know that New Straitsville has done that, Logan does it. A lot of the surrounding, communities do it, and I think it would be a great thing, so. I don't have an issue with it, I don't believe anybody else, I can't speak for everyone else, but, I don't foresee,
I think we'll be fine.
Right off.
an issue with it.
Who owns the field across the roof?
Hockman College owns the cornfield down there in the hall.
Right, doing it?
Railroad.
Yeah.
You're talking about the one right across this bridge?
Yeah, on this
Above the
side.
bridge. and then
Railroad.
That, oh, no, so there's a section
No,
as that comes across and
No,
then down in.
I think you need to Google that.
So the railroad has a real wide chunk that narrows in as it goes down that way. And then it's also the person on the corner there, theirs backs up to that one. Missy has a,
Will it be handicap accessible? I'm sure that if we, I'd have to go look at that to see.
Crabtree would take a significant grant to get it handicap
Yeah.
accessible.
Yeah.
Polly Field, I don't know what the requirements are in that situation, so, I know
Polly's
there's,
already handicap accessible.
I know,
Yeah, Polly's already there.
we've,
Shelter houses, bring blacktop.
I have to look into that.
partially, I guess is the answer.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean,
so-
I guess the thing about Crabtree to remember is, technically, if you came at it from this upper end, there's not that much of an incline, like if somebody was in a wheelchair or whatever, to come up and then walk across the plat at the top to get there, right? Obviously, there's the steps, and that's a pretty steep embankment from Canal Street, but from, what is the street called? Lake Hope Drive.
Like,
Yeah.
okay.
From Lake Hope Drive, like on the other side of the bridge, right? There's not that big of an incline. It's pretty flat actually there. So,
You could definitely drop folks off right there and go park somewhere else. I wouldn't leave my car there though.
no, I agree. Especially not during a game.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying that there, to me, that would be the accessible.
So typically handicap ramps are quarter inch per foot on their ADA.
Yes, quarter inch per foot, you're correct.
One thing we had trouble with, we had the pony leg there, was people was parking up there by the tracks. The
Yeah.
train was raising cane.
Yeah, they were parking too close to the tracks and everything else. I do remember that. So yes, I think that,
With Hawking, this being a Hawking, I shouldn't speak for them, but with this being their event, their PD, I'm assuming would be there to help direct and maintain that sort of stuff. And then, Mr. Fitch loves baseball, so I'm sure he'd be there too.
Well, we have mutual agreement with Hopkins, so.
Yeah.
We work well with them now.
And then another thing is, they got buses, they can shuttle people from there.
Yeah.
Shuttle people down on the field.
yep, never thought about that. Okay, so the other thing that they want to use is they want to use Polyfield number 4. So,
For women's softball.
for women's softball. So, there will be, is that the Pony League field? Which is that? Is that the Pony League field, Hootie? I remember all the fields, but now I can't remember.
It's
what
one
they're-
over by the football field.
The one over by the football field,
The,
okay.
the back one,
Very
Yeah,
bad. Yeah.
one
There's-
that's
there's-
redone,
there's lights on it.
Yep.
some lights.
So Hootie, does that field get used, more because because it does have some lights and some,
Yeah,
than other fields?
that and 3 is the only one's got lights on it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Scott, this is for softball, and they said their softball season would be when fall?
There was no specification when the
It'd be
season.
Softball's usually spring.
They haven't even established their program yet, and they're not going to until we make this move, as far as hiring a
Okay.
coach or anything.
Well, the only thing we needed to coordinate with City and get the scheduling perfect, and so that there's no question what's going on.
Okay.
And therefore, we don't want any issues with having a game, going down there and there's already another game
Right.
going on, so.
I don't know if that one pole in the outfield would stop M&B from regulating 200 feet.
Mhm.
The one out in the outfield, the security light.
Mm-hmm.
it
The
might
brand
have-
new one.
They might have to be moved.
Oh, that would be a part of the
That'd
responsibility,
be there. yeah.
so.
But as far as the dugouts and the backstop, the side fences is all brand new in the quarry.
Mhm.
And it's about 3 years old.
Well, that's good. That's great.
And this one to build on new, I was like, what do you want to build new ones?
Well, Mr. Wynn, do you have any more concerns? And did we address anything, we're gonna make sure that the scheduling is right, that your games are set, and that you guys can play your games and use it without any problems. So that's our main concern.
Yeah.
So, okay,
Hootie,
go ahead.
when are we doing, when does rec league baseball, softball start this spring,
The games will start May 10th,
May 10th?
and usually they the teams out like second week of April. So they practice,
And how long do we anticipate the season lasting?
second or third week of June.
Okay. And are you planning on hosting any tournaments down there this summer, or is that dependent on,
It depends on interest.
Okay. So,
I'm sorry, can I
I don't know if
get
anybody's ever
Go
been
ahead.
down there when there's been a tournament, but when there's a tournament down there, you can't find a place to park.
no.
Yeah.
I mean, it's crap the railroad tracks.
How much do we charge for for children to play in rec league? baseball,
$10.
$10?
Yeah.
Okay. And that includes their t-shirt and
That's
hat
right.
or whatever?
Yeah, well, sponsors pay for that.
Yeah, right, but yeah.
Covers their trophy.
Trophy, and there's shirt and hat.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
I don't know if anybody's ever seen, had a guy from, Burn Union donated me 2 scoreboards about 3 years ago. And I got them up, but I never have got them wired up. And they got brand new controllers with it.
Nice.
And
You do something,
So what do you need, an electrician?
a licensed
Like, a
electrician.
licensed electrician? Okay.
Because unfortunately, the wiring that is there through the middle of the field
Yeah.
is not compliant by any stretch. It's not even a conduit.
guy got paid for it, supposed to put it conduit, never did.
Well, imagine that.
Wow. That gives a whole new meaning to mowing
So-
the grass.
If somebody wanted to sponsor a team, roughly what would that cost?
310.
$310?
Okay, is there anything else that was basically the meeting, wasn't it?
Pool
The
pool rates.
Oh.
Okay, pool rates. All right, go ahead.
I'd love it.
Oh, me?
Yep.
So, so the biggest thing I want to share with everyone, especially at home, and I sent council an email. So the inner liner of our pool is called Diamond Bright. It's actually the best stuff you can still get on the market today. It's a very, very good material. It has a life expectancy between 12 and 15 years, and we're on 20. Some of it's been replaced, some of it's been redone. You know, it's kind of been patched together here and there. So I talked to several contractors, and we have options just depending on the condition when it's actually time to work on it. I just want to preface that there's no way we can do this before the pool opens this year. And at the very earliest would be this fall, but the reality is, as expensive as it's going to be, probably not till 22 or even 23 before we'll be able to do it. We have the options of completely jackhammering it out and putting new in. Not recommended unless we absolutely have to, because we can resurface what's there. They grind down a little bit of it, kind of like asphalt, and then they go around the edges and grind all the way down to the concrete, and then they go in and resurface all around. Looks pretty good, or look brand new when they're done with it, and then we'll be set for another 12 to 15 years. So everybody I talked to, when I said, can you give me a rough price? Nobody would give me a rough price till they come down and look at it, but it's going to be 6 figures very, very easily. So I put in there a starting point at 100,000, but it's going to be more than that. But until they actually crack it open and see what's behind the current, because we have current damage now that our guys have been in there, you know, patching up and trying to keep it trucking. But there's just no way of knowing until they actually get in there and start knocking chunks off. So with that, I took the prices from 2019 on the group passes and then also the individual prices from last year. I'm proposing an increase, and the increase is to start a piggy bank to eventually fix the liner on the pool. There's no way we can do it in one season. It's going to take a couple seasons most likely, unless we're able to find a grant for it or something crazy happens. So with that, I'll get to it. So in 2019, because we did not do family pool, or we didn't do pool passes last year, 2019, a household pass up to 6 was 190 in town, 200 out of town. Individual was 125 in town, 150 out of town. And then a youth was 100 in town, 125 out of town, and then the seniors were 50. In 2020, the daily rates were for ages 0 to 2 is free, and then the in-town rate was 4 and the out-of-town rate was 5. There's 2 different prices for pool parties. Less than 75 was 225, over 75 was 300. Basically, that's just a threshold for more staffing. And then the proposed numbers for 2021 for the household up to 6 would be 250 in town, 275 out of town. And then instead of having an adult and a youth rate, just having one rate of 150 in town, 175 out of town. The seniors maintain 50. And then the daily rates still keeping 0 to 2 free. And then the in-town rate being 5 and the out-of-town rate being 6. And then just one price for a pool party of 300.
And if I can add to that, as always, veterans swim free.
Correct. With military ID.
Apparently.
He's domineering again.
So Scott, you're proposing that we go from 140 for up to 6 to 250 or 190 to 250?
Yeah, 190 to 250.
How does that compare to?
And then beyond 6, how much?
There's not an option for beyond 6.
There's not.
There hasn't been. I mean, certainly you can add one.
How does the prices compare to, say, Athens?
So
We're still lower.
Athens household season pass 190, additional 50, so same price as we currently are.
Is that for
Additional,
21.
this is for the, it says stay tuned for pool season 2021 info, so it's what's on their website right now.
So that's from 19.
So 190, additional $15 per person beyond 6. Senior season pass 100, youth season pass 100. And then they have daily rates, 3 and under free, 4 to 17, $5, 18 to 59, $7, senior 16 over $5. Silver sneakers, free. That's like a Medicare fitness program. I don't know that we participate in that. And adult lap swim, $3 are their rates. So,
Based on our 19 attendance, how much extra revenue do you think we would gain by this?
I don't have those numbers. Last year we broke even covering manpower. It's hard to say because even from 19, that's when the mysterious fake employees were on the books.
Right.
If I recall correctly, actually you guys probably know better, the pool was reporting a loss for several years in a row.
Yes.
Which is, if you take out the fake employee, it would probably be a wash, which is a good thing, you know, I mean, it's a service for the community, it's not a
Well,
moneymaker.
wasn't there a fictitious check for like 50 grand or something like that as well?
I don't think so, for that much.
how many days, what is the pool season? How many days is the pool open?
So we would open, basically Memorial Day to Labor Day. So with that being said, the pool hasn't made any revenue per se as far as just covering costs, which is fine. However, we're at the point of
We gotta do repairs.
Sure.
So, you know, there used to be a pool levy on the books. That might be something that we look at again, because I can tell you this, I'm just guessing that it's gonna be probably anywhere between $300,000 and $500,000 to get that.
Every bit of that.
So, you know, there's no way, I'll be honest with you, raising the rates and as little, I don't wanna say as many people go there, there's not enough. I agree that the rates need to be raised, but I'm just saying there's not enough volume, especially with Athens being open, that we're gonna be able to recoup that. I think we need to look at other avenues.
And Logan this year.
Logan too. So, I think that we need to really, we need to get on the agenda for getting a pool levy out there, because there's no other way to do it, honestly. The pool eventually is going to be unrepairable to one of these points.
And now we have the old pool.
Right.
You know, everybody else has got new ones around us.
Right.
And now we're the,
Now we're the old one.
Yep.
So, okay.
So our pool, I will say that I know from a number of people that like our pool is still a preferred
Mhm.
pool for the, zero entry, the slide, the setup of our pool, even with, you know, some newer pools. So I'm not familiar with what Logan's new pool looks like. Just between, so May 31st to September 6th, so Memorial Day to Labor Day, that's 98 days. So we're looking at about a 100-day season. I guess if possible, I'd like to be able to, look at these numbers that Scott's proposed and the number of pool days. Of course, this is all right, based on weather and how many days the pool is actually
It's actually
open.
typically less than that too, because school typically starts and they start
That's
leaving
true,
guards,
earlier.
so.
Yeah.
It's usually about 80
They
days.
usually stop right around.
But yeah, they usually stop before the Parade of the Hills and then open maybe weekend up until Labor Day.
I think it's
So you're
like
right,
10
Lori.
weeks.
So I think that we need to get on this, but I guess I'd like to delay it till the next meeting to set rates, because I'd like to be able to, look at this on a spreadsheet and look at some past historic numbers. And, you know, obviously, we need the pool to break even and some, for sure. But we also want it to be affordable for our city residents and families to take advantage of. So I think it's trying to find what that middle ground
If the
is.
pool is open 80 days, just say 80 days. Okay, that sounds about right. With weather, weekends, if you buy a pool pass and you're in town at $250, it's $3.12 a day.
Yeah, you go.
If you go every day.
is that per person or just total?
That is
That's
just
total.
total. That's just
If you go every day.
if you go every
If you
day.
go every
It's
day.
$3.12.
I mean, if you go half
You
for a
can't even
family
go-
of 6, I mean, you're still at $6.
Yeah, so you can't even
So-
buy a Happy Meal for that.
I agree. I guess I just like to like not have to make the decision and I have time to look at the numbers a little
So
more. in
Leslie would
depth.
have to come into the finance meeting as well and go over the final numbers with all that.
Okay.
Okay, I don't have a problem with that.
No.
Not at all. Okay. Anything else, Mr. Frank?
Did he just come off the street?
That's all I have.
Okay.
Do we have any comments about the pool or anything? Or
No, there's one
questions about the pool?
opinion, the biggest thing I think is what Missy said, would there be parking access for the scooter trailer, and we already have that at Polly. As far as, we don't have it painted, we don't have anything painted at Polly right now, cause it keeps getting washed out.
Oh,
But you could definitely cone it off. The intent also with shutting the gate down there was, you know, we can open that up for handicapped folks to get to the other end, which would be much easier for them to access those fields on the back. Also, it's been good having that gate closed. We're hoping to get everything back there cleaned up. That's on the to-do list for one of the utility guys now, to get back there. Try and clean up all the ruts that are back there, smooth those out, and then start knocking the brush down, just like they did right here at Crabtree. And we'll be moving along. There's also some other improvements that need done down there as well. So,
All right.
I got something to ask too, because this is before he become here, you know, become city manager. There was a girl here 2 years ago that applied for a grant to put playground equipment.
McDonald.
McDonald's daughter.
Yes.
And I asked him about it, he said, I don't know nothing about
at that point, I didn't. I still don't have the paperwork. I
don't
was given
wanna
the
say-
name.
I can't remember her
it.
last name.
Sophie Bailey,
Sophie Bailey, that's it.
cause her.
Sophia Bailey?
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
she was gonna get her mom's company that she works for,
To excavate that for free and make it, and we had it all planned out, and
COVID.
COVID hit.
You said last name's Bailey.
Yes.
Yeah.
She was in River City.
Her mom's Sherry McDonald.
Yep.
I just,
We should
ever
reach
since that
out.
happened, I haven't heard nothing more about it, you know what I mean?
Yeah, we should reach out and just see what's
They was
going on.
going through,
Heard the construction company.
well, it was through the grant they was going through, was through, who was that?
I'd have to look back through my emails. I remember that. It was, USDA, no, not USDA, it was, yeah, no. The girl used to come with her, remember,
Yeah.
they used to come, yes, that's a good
Tri-County
question.
Community Action Agency or something like that.
I think it's rural, yes, it was,
Yeah.
yes, that's it. Okay, well, yes, we'll reach out to her and see, what the prognosis is.
Just, you hate
like.
to lose all that, but still.
Yeah, cause that was gonna be a very nice playground,
Yeah.
so. Okay, anything else?
No.
All right, meeting adjourned at 7:34.